to come over to the other page. And while she's doing that, because normally I'll go into a recap and everything first before I introduce my guest, but she is actually at the airport. So we're going to get her on first. Then we're going to go into our information for tonight. So as soon as I see her come on the other page, we're going to get her on in so she can. So tonight we're going to be talking about what it is to date a successful person, mainly a successful woman. And go to the other page. Twin, go to the other page. You are on, go to my personal public page. Go to Benita Bradley page. Yeah, I need you to go to the other page. Hold on, guys. Let me tell her to go to the other page. She is on the wrong page. Oh, there she is. All right. All right, she's over. All right. Okay, so let's see who else is on. All right. Good evening, Instagram. Thank you guys for joining us. We have a special guest tonight. So let me get it turned up so you guys can hear. All right. All right. I think everybody can hear me. If everybody can hear me, just give me a thumbs up and say we can hear you. I got everybody in. All right, so let's get right into it. Let me get it live in the comments with you guys so we can get right into this, because I want to get her on and give her time to talk to us before her plane, before she has to board her plane. So give me 1 second. Let me get live with you guys. Oops, not there, not there. Don't do that. No. 1 second, I'm coming. So tonight we're going to be talking about what it is to date a successful person, and actually how hard it is to find someone that's actually your equal when you are successful. We're going to get our guests on first, and then we're going to go back and talk about what it is to be successful and what it is to be equally yoked, what it is to have someone to be intimidated by you. We're going to go into all of that tonight, but normally we would do all of that first. We would do the preliminary first, and then we would bring our guest on. But tonight our guest is actually at the airport, so we are going to bring her on first and let her talk to us, and then we will get into our other stuff. Give me 1 second. All right, so I'm going to bring her in and let her go ahead and start talking while I'm still doing this, because I want to get her in so bad. All right, here she goes. Add. All right, says we're adding her. So tonight, guys, listen, we have a special guest. Her name is Bernita Ward. It's almost like Benita, but she's Bernita, Bernita. And she is an entrepreneur. She's a serial entrepreneur. She is a comedian. Let me tell y'all something. This girl is so funny. Even when she's angry with somebody, she will have you laughing. Do y'all understand me? Hey, twin, she is actually so listen, so those of you that are streaming from different areas, you can't see her, but you can hear her, okay? She is she's at the airport, so we're going to get her in. Again, her name is Benita Ward. She is an elder in the Lord's church. She's a licensed elder. She has been preaching for years and years and years. She is ex-military person. She is retired nursing. This is not just some random person who decided, well, I can't do nothing else, so I might as well tell some jokes. No, this not that kind of girl. No, 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 no. She has a myriad of people in her Rolodex, from doctors to actors to comedians to I'm talking all A-listers, you name it. She will probably have worked with them, or in the future will work with them. We are seeing her do extraordinary things in such a small amount of time. She was also interviewed on a show in San Antonio, Texas. This is what I love about her. She has such a big heart for people. She actually goes out and she will see somebody homeless on the street. She will stop and talk with them. She will put them in her car. She will spend her own money. I hope she don't mind me telling this. She will spend her own money, her own resources. She will put them not just in a hotel here or there. She will put them in suitable housing, like apartment housing. She will give them food. She will buy groceries. If they have children, she will buy everything their children need. And then she will turn around, give them a job. And I'm talking about, this woman have taken people from being homeless to now homeowners. I have seen her do extraordinary things in a little bit amount of time. She was also interviewed. They was talking on the news how she worked so hard, y'all. She made like $1 million within a year's time. You have to be out there really on your grind to do that, and still watch this, and still have a heart for people, and still want to see everybody that's connected to you win. Because a lot of times when people make it like that, and y'all know I'm getting ready to say something that's true. You guys know when people make it like that, it's not often that they'll look back and pull somebody else up with them. But she has such a heart for the people. But let me tell y'all something. This girl's so funny. We'll be having conversation. I'm talking about a serious conversation. And she will say something that will totally throw you off. And you'll be laughing so hard, you'll forget what you're mad about. She'll forget what she's mad about until we both come back and say, and another thing, then that's when we both remember what we was mad about. Not mad at each other, but just stuff we was talking about. This is how funny she is. She's actually getting ready to go on tour with Fantasia. So listen, I want her to tell us, tell our guests, tell our audience. Remember now, you're talking to live YouTube, you're talking to live on Instagram, and you're talking to 3 different pages on Facebook as well. So I want you to tell the people, I want you to tell them what is success to you? How do you define your success? Because clearly, in the eyes of a lot of people, including the news people, you have made it.
Oh, amen. I feel like I made it when my name is written in that Lamb. Like when I stand before the Lord and He said, "Well done."
Yes.
Yes. Deterrent, that's when I know I made it.
Yes.
Me, I'm still grinding. I'm still hustling. I'm still out here. I'm a go-getter. That's just who I am. And when I get my mansion in heaven, then I know I made it.
Yes.
But until then, I'm gonna keep on grinding.
Amen. Amen. Can you all hear her? You all hear her? Instagram, can you hear her? Can you guys hear her? Yeah, I think they can. So let me ask you this. How hard has it been, or have you noticed that it's been really hard for you, a woman in your position, to find suitable people to date?
Maybe it's harder than pushing camel hair through a needle.
Did y'all?
It's hard out here for them.
Okay, hold on. Instagram say they can't hear you. Let me see if I got this speaker on. Hold on, Twig. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I got this speaker hooked up. Oh goodness, because Instagram say they can't hear you. Listen, Instagram. She said it's. Wait, I let her say it again.
It's so hard being single and successful.
Let me put her up so y'all can hear her. Okay. So Instagram, she said it's so hard to be single and successful. It's harder than pushing the camel's hair through the needle, something like that. She said it's funnier when she says it because I'm not a comedian. She's a comedian. She is naturally funny. Okay, Twin, keep talking. I'm gonna work on getting this speaker hooked up so everybody can hear you at the same time. So Go ahead.
It's hard out here for a sanctified pimp. You understand what I'm saying? Because when you're single in the Lord and you're successful, men tend to don't choose the successful kind of women. They want them cut buckets. You know, the bad. You know, somebody told me that a man has to feel needed. Well, what I need him for, he ain't producing.
Right. Now, what's a cut bucket? Tell us what a cut bucket is.
Cut bucket. You know, somebody who ain't got her stuff together, bad credit, 5 kids. You know, that's the kind of women that men like. They don't like a woman who got her stuff together, credit, got her own house, own cars. You know, doing for herself. But it seems like the women who needy got all the good men. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I said, from here on out, I'm gonna have a 40 ounce of money 1 year, another year. I'm gonna wear me some booty shorts to church. I'm gonna have a twerk ministry at the same time.
You'll get put out the church, twin.
I'm gonna walk in church. You know, get some high heels and have a 40 ounce in my hand.
Right. You say maybe you get somebody there because they don't seem to be attracted to what's attractive. It's
I'm about to act broke as hell.
And then you might can attract somebody, because it seems like unless you're needy or unless you're in a position to where, to where they feel like, I guess the hero, if you will, Captain Save a Girl, I guess it doesn't, it makes you kind of less appealing to them, whereas someone who seems weaker.
I've had men tell me that I'm intimidated because I got my own everything. I said, well, add something to what I have,
Right.
I don't feel like I need to be intimidated because I own my own house. You know what I mean? And my house is paid for. Why is that intimidating? I work hard. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So when you ask the question, why is that intimidated? Do you ever get an answer?
He was like, well, you're rare. I get that. You're rare. Most women don't, well, what you need me for? I need you to be the man in my life. That's what I need you for. Just like
right.
Need a man.
Right.
Right.
And so when you find out that people are intimidated by you, how do you think you handle it? Do you think, I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were saying that they, as a matter of fact, it was today, gentleman was telling me a friend of his, he was making $70,000 a year, but his wife was making $250,000 a year. And he couldn't handle the fact that she made that much more than him.
In a relationship, it shouldn't be based on money.
Right.
Your relationship should be based on love, trust, honesty, commitment, understanding. If you got a relationship based on money, you're in the wrong relationship.
Right.
So, sometimes it's hard to meet men. A lot of men don't make what I'm making a month.
Right. Right. Because you got 50,000 businesses, so he got to at least come home and cook. He got to at least do the dishes. He got to do something, because you got 50,000 jobs. Do something. Scratch your head, do something.
Yeah, do something.
Yeah.
It's just for me, I just like I'm looking back at somebody.
Yeah.
For me, not for what I have, not for what I do, but for me, the person.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to find that, especially when I didn't get no ass.
Right.
From being,
and why?
From being the potential to,
Yeah, them phone calls and text messages, they show up differently when they find that out. But why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Why do you think for men, it's a deal breaker if a woman doesn't sleep with him, but for women, we find it honorable if a man is willing to wait for us. Why is that different right there?
It's just the lust of the flesh.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't want you to know my body. I want you to know me, the person.
Right.
To see me even deserve my body.
Right.
Because if you stop and think about it, most relationships, that's communication don't last.
Yeah.
They really don't. Very, very seldom. Very few do. And if they do, there's always complications such as cheating, a lot of emotional issues in those type of relationships. So you know, it's just that way, and I'm just not willing to compromise who I am to show you that I like you. I should have to give you my body that I'm interested in. You should have to sleep in my bed for me to show that I like you.
Right.
That's not what I'm here for.
Right.
I'm too old at this age of my life. I'm ready now to settle down and be with somebody that's for me, that want to build something, want to have something, that want to grow, that want to experience. That's somebody I can experience God with together.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
All this other stuff, it don't lead to nothing.
Right.
And half of these people out here lying and trying to be impressive. Man, be yourself. I respect the man who can be himself.
Exactly.
Just the way he is, no front.
Yeah, just keep it simple. Just yeah. Keep it real and keep it simple. For those of you that are on different streamers, and if you can't hear, here's what she's saying. We were talking about introducing sex into the dating process, and she was saying that thank you. She's saying that as a woman, we should not have to offer our bodies just to prove that, hey, I like you, I want to be with you, or I'm feeling you, or what have you. My question was, why then, from a man's perspective, a man, he'll stop calling, he'll stop texting when he find out he's not getting sex. But with a woman, we'll find that admirable in a man that's willing to wait for sex and not, try to put that pressure on, particularly if we're both saying we're Christian, we both trying to say we're trying to go somewhere and see where this go, then sex should not be the number one aspect of our relationship. And with Bernita, she is such a successful woman. Literally, she really is. She really, really is. I've known her for a few years, and she's been the same. Before she started, making this big money doing these comedy tours, I can pick up the phone and call her then. I can pick up the phone and call her now. She is the exact, if you know her, I'm telling the truth. But what happens when people do get to a certain level? Now she's like me. We're at a certain age group. We're ready to settle down, but what happens when your options doesn't meet your standards, if you will?
And what that happens is sometimes you have to be a motivator. Some men have a lot of potential in them. Nobody just never pulled it out of them. But I also realized that when you're a strong, independent woman and you see potential in a man, he has to be willing to allow you to help coach, mentor, guide, direct. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if you have potential, nobody never spoke to the king.
Right.
That's all it is. Women know how to talk to a man, but don't know how to talk to a man. There is a difference.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
And then you have some men who are so damaged from past relationships that when the woman of God do show up in his life, he thinks she's just like the average child instead of treating her like the queen that she is.
Right.
So you have to allow that man to heal. And maybe you have to mentor, spiritually tap into his soul so that he can minister instead of trying to minister with your legs or minister with your ministry from the heart of God through the Spirit of the Holy Ghost.
Right.
That coaching ministry gonna fade out after a while.
Listen, I told y'all this is not the show to have your children watch it, cause listen, she is a comedian and ain't no telling what she gonna say. This is an uncensored show, you know what I'm saying? And this is adult content we're talking about tonight. So listen, she was saying, we have to learn how to minister, to the soul of a man with our souls and not with our legs open, ladies. That's what she's saying. And I don't think that's wrong for her to say. Particularly, here is a woman who I know personally that have made it. Her husband died. She raised 3 boys on her own, and she has lived her life according to the word of God, and now God has blessed her, opened up some phenomenal doors, and now we're getting to see all those seeds that she planted. But with all of that success, there's a component missing, and it's really hard to find someone Not even when we say equally yoked, a lot of times people go right to thinking spiritually, but you have to have somebody that you can even have a conversation with. So, Twin, tell us, Twin, tell us if you can still hear me. Look like she's boarding her plane. So, can you still hear me? She is so busy. She's always flying everywhere. I don't know if she's still with us or not. Can you still hear me? Okay, good. She's still with me. So, yeah, I can hear you. Hold on, guys. She's boarding a plane. Yes. Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit. You must be on the plane now. Yeah.
I am. Listen, can we do this again tomorrow?
Yeah. We'll do a special edition tomorrow so we can get her full story, because I really want you guys to hear her. She was actually trying to call in and do it while she was waiting on her plane to board. Okay. So we're going to do a special show tomorrow. Normally we only come on Wednesdays and Saturdays, but we're going to do a special interview with her tomorrow so we can get her story, because I really want you guys to know about her and hear her story, okay? Twin, you have a safe flight. I love you, and I will talk to you tomorrow.
Okay, love you too.
All right. Safe travels. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So she is actually on the plane. We're praying for her safe travels. So again, tonight we're talking about when you are a successful person, and being able to find excuse me, and being able to find a suitable mate after you have become successful. So, Twin, you still on?
Yeah, I
know. Okay, cool. Okay, so not that part. So let me go over some. I wrote some definitions I want to share with you guys, and I want you guys to really listen to this. And hold on, Twin and got me sidetracked laughing at her because some of the stuff she was saying, y'all couldn't hear her, and I should have known.
That's why I wanted to sit down. That's why I wanted to give it tomorrow, so I can give all the content that I had.
Okay.
So that the men from men and women, you know, it's important when you're successful and you have you reach a certain level financially to find someone suitable. Because if you don't find someone suitable, then that person can bring you down. And I've seen people rise to the top and lose everything that they've worked hard for because they didn't find somebody.
So they got with the wrong person. Yeah. And I think I was did y'all hear that? I'm sure y'all couldn't hear that, but she said you got to learn the difference between lust and love. You know, good evening, sir. You got to find the difference between lust and love. And here's something I want to ask you real quick, if you can still hear me. Do you think it's impossible to find love at that stage, or do you think it will just take a special person to recognize? Because here's what I heard this guy say. He said he wouldn't mind. We were talking on the phone today, and he was telling me about his friend. His friend was making $75,000. The wife was making $250,000 a year. He said to me, he says, well, I wouldn't mind if a woman made more than me as long as she didn't use it against me and throw it in my face.
Right. You have some of those women who are like that. Who are make more than they can, and then they want to use their status to betray, to belittle
Right.
That's not appropriate in any relationship. Like I said before, money is a factor in a relationship, but it should be the factor of a relationship. And no matter how successful a woman is, a king is always king in his house.
Yes, honey. Did y'all hear that? She said no matter how successful a woman is, the king is always king in his house. Yes, twin.
And women need to learn a lot of women talk at a man.
Right.
Maybe learn how to talk to the man, not at him, because when you talk at him, you're degrading.
Right.
You're debating who he is as a man. First of all, his character, his integrity, his spirit. You know what I mean? So women need to learn how to talk to them and not at them.
So do you think when it comes to saying that a man is intimidated, do you think he's intimidated because he has not reached that certain level, or is he intimidated because the woman has reached that level? What's intimidating?
Listen, we made $1.7 million in our first year.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw the clipping, the news, and all the publicity behind that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm at $8 million right now.
Did y'all hear that? So, she said she's at 8. Her net worth is $8 million right now. Y'all, that's my friend. Listen, when she go up, let me tell y'all something. And I know a lot of people, we have this stigma about Black women being jealous. Let me tell y'all something. It ain't nothing jealous about me, because first thing I be thinking about, child, let me call her, see what she think about this. Anybody that can make $1.7 million in 1 year just off of her businesses alone, and still humble. Let me tell you something. I can call her and ask her, twin, what you think about this? And her first question would be, well, twin, what you trying to do with it? What direction you want to take that? Let me tell y'all something. When you have a friend, indeed, you have to treasure those people, So now her net worth is $8 million. And I don't know.
We're going to open up our location September the 3rd.
She'll be opening up her Cleveland location September the 3rd. I'll be glad when she opens something here in Atlanta, that way I get to see her more. So, we'll get to see each other more. So listen, twin. So do you foresee that right one finding you in the near future, or where are you right now? Are you still holding on? How has it been dating for you?
Well, I'm at a place in my life now. So, my husband passed away, so I raised my sons pretty much from their teen years up to their adulthood.
Yeah.
So for me, if I marry, amen. If I don't, amen. I'm content. I'm already whole with myself.
Right.
I don't need somebody to complete me. I'm complete with myself. I would love to have somebody to share my life with, but if it's not the Lord's will for me to remarry, because I'm not going to just go have no heel cut bug. No. Now she keep using the term called cut bucket. I don't know what a cut bucket is, so I'm gonna ask her one more time. So a cut bucket is. A cut bucket is somebody that ain't on your level. Somebody that's gonna be more problems than praise. So a cut bucket is somebody not on your level, and a cut bucket is somebody that's going to be more problems than praises. Now, let me tell you what I thought a cut bucket was. Let me tell you what I thought you were saying. Now, I heard about a term called cut buddy. Now, that's somebody that you just sleep with. And then I thought a cut bucket was, have you ever heard, I know y'all going to be like, she ain't saved for real, but listen, I heard this term called chicken head before. And that's just like a person that just go around, doing what chickens do, peck, 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 So that's the same as a cut bucket. I wish y'all could hear what she said. I hope y'all can hear. It was great. I hope y'all can hear what she said.
YouTube, we have some people on YouTube as well. I hope y'all can hear what she said. If y'all can't, listen, y'all got to come back tomorrow. I'm going to get her where we can all hear it really good tomorrow. We're going to do a special session. And we may come on, it may be during the daytime. So, yeah, it may be during the daytime. So I'll probably get you while my kids are at school so we can have open dialogue. So, but listen, so you're saying even if you don't get married again, so you were married, your husband died, your boys were teenagers. And by the way, hats off. I see your boys doing their thing. They work with you as well. You know, they hold things down when you travel. Hats off to you. You know, you've done an awesome job. You know, it's rough raising children, but being a female raising 3 Black men, I just want to tell you, you know, we salute you and we thank God for you. We thank God for the way those boys have turned into productive Black men. You know, it's so important that our Black men have.
My son will be just passed his BLS surgical license, so he'll be performing surgery August 26th.
Girl, what kind of surgery? Can he do a tummy tuck?
No, I think they're gonna do family medicine, so like doing all kind of surgeries for the first year. But
oh, child, I was gonna say.
That's been with my company for August 25th.
So one of her sons, he's finishing up his surgical training, so now he'll be able to do surgery. So and I was asking her, can he do what kind of surgery he was going to be doing? Because I was going to tell him, you know, Auntie need a tummy tuck and some other things done. You know, I'm 52 now, so I need a little makeover, you know, so we can get back out there and get some things done. You know what I'm saying? So, but he's not going to be doing that kind of surgery. Plump, look, let me tell you something. Plump, listen, be walking around with crop tops on, be in church with crop tops on, be talking about, thank you, Lord. Won't be no good. Right. You know how they had them navel rings with the long chains on? Be all tattooed up, a tattoo from up here all the way down my thigh. Yo, she is sitting on the plane and she is cracking me up. Oh goodness, she is hilarious. Girl, look, we're gonna have a pole ministry. Right. Be like, are you speaking to me? You be like, yeah, I've been speaking to you. Oh, girl, that was before my stomach was flat. Don't speak to me now. You be like, girl, that was before my stomach was flat. We was friends before then. We ain't friends no more. Right? We gonna fight everybody with a flat stomach and hang with them. Listen, then maybe, you know, and I think what happens is sometimes you were saying earlier how when women present themselves a certain way, those are the women that seem like they getting all the men. But when a woman presents herself, you know, you put on clothes. You know, you put on clothes, you handle your business, you take care of your home. I watch you, even when you're at home on your downtime, you know, you're in your kitchen. You know, you cooking, you spending time with your boys, you spending time with them pretty grandbabies of yours. You know, we watch, well, I don't know how many of you follow her on her page, but because I know her personally too, we watch Lil Man struggle to now he's just as healthy. We were praying with you. We were praying with the family, and we watch a little man struggle to come in this world. We watch him struggle, and now the Lord has blessed him. You are on hands mother. You are on hands grandmother. So it's not like you just you know hobnobbing through the world, and then when you get home, you know everything just whatever. No, you're hands on still. You cook in your own kitchen. You know you taking care of your own family. So why is that not enough? Why is all of that not enough to attract the type of man that you might want?
I don't know. I don't. That's something you would have to ask other, men. I don't think people. I don't know. With this generation, everything has changed. It's not like back in our day when we was in high school, where a man would come to your house and ask your parents to engage you, or you get a note on your locker in school, or a man would approach you with some roses and tell you how beautiful you are and ask you to date. No, this is that give it to me quick generation. You know what I mean? To where the moral, the morale is just no.
Yeah. Yeah, I can hear her talking. Where you heading to now? Oh, okay. Oh, you coming here? Okay. What time you land? Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, cause we can't. Okay, love you. Safe travels. Bye bye. Okay, guys. So, she had to hang up. She's actually getting ready to take off. Like I said, she's always flying somewhere. She's actually getting ready to. She'll be hosting the tour, the Fantasia tour. So we'll be looking for her on that tour. She's also doing some work with Rodney Perry. I think you guys saw the flyer I posted of her doing some work with Rodney Perry as well. So let's get into it a little bit tonight. You guys know I like to give you some research and stuff. And if you're on either stream and you want to chime in, go ahead. If you feel like it's been hard for you to find a suitable mate because you have achieved a certain level of success in whatever area, whether it be ministry, business, or your scholarly success, what have you, and you feel like it's really been hard for you to find, a suitable mate or a suitable date or what have you, let me know and I'll get you on. You can share a little bit of your story with us as well. So let's look at some definitions I have for you. What does it mean to be equal? So to be equal means being the same in quantity, size, degree, or value, having the ability or resources to meet a challenge. It is a person or a thing considered to be the same as another in status or in quality. That's what it means to be equal. And so I think a lot of times when we consider, well, are we equally yoked? We only look at that from a from a biblical perspective. And so we say, well, if both of us saved, then that automatically qualifies us both to be equally yoked. I beg to differ. I beg to differ because I think that only qualifies us both as Christians or as believers, but I do not think it qualifies us to be equally yoked because there are so many other factors and facets that come into place when we start talking about building relationships and building courtships and dating and looking into getting married, because you both can be saved but not have good communication. You both can be saved and one have terrible money managing skills. You both can be saved, but one can be, an excellent saved or Christians. Sometimes this just means it's not enough to say that we are equally yoked. We need to have more in common than just saying we both love God and we both go to church or we both whatever. We gotta have something that causes us, when you come into my life, I need you to be able to meet a challenge in my life. If I come into your life, I need to be able to meet some challenges that come into your life. That is what it means to be equal. That means that we're able to come into each other's life and perhaps meet whatever challenges come. Because here's the thing, if I can't help you meet challenges, then what benefit would you have with having me in your life? And vice versa. If you can't help me meet challenges, then what benefit do you have in my life? So we can't just say, well, being equally yoked means that we both saved or we're both Christian. We got to look beyond that. We got to see what will cause us to jail together. All right. So we were talking about how hard it is to be successful and find a suitable mate. So success then is the accomplishment of an aim or a purpose, is the attainment of a popularity or profit, profit, profit as in gain. It's a person or a thing that achieves desired aims or attains prosperity. The fact of getting or achieving wealth, respect, or fame. Success is also the correct or desired result of an attempt. So it's like anything you attempt to do, if it works out and you meet that goal, you meet that aim, then you are set to be successful in that thing. All right. So here's what the Coach John Wooden said, the American basketball player and head coach at the University of California, Los Angeles. He was also nicknamed the Wizard of Westwood. He defined success as such. He said, success is a peace of mind, which is a direct result of self satisfaction in knowing you made the effort to do your best to become the best that you are capable of becoming. Then success is an attitude. Success requires maximum effort. So then, if we are saying this is what success is, then how do we get others to see that our success then will be a benefit to them and not something they should be intimidated by? Because a lot of times uh, you don't normally see women intimidated by men, successful men, but you do see men intimidated by successful women. And we don't really know why that is or what's the totality of all of that. So, but we're going to find that out. We're going to find that out. So, we're going to find all that out. All right. So, what did it mean to be intimidated? To be intimidated means to be frightened or, to be in awe of someone, especially in order to make them do what you want them to do. It's to be dismayed, disheartened, constrained. It is to bully or subdue, alarm, or even to terrorize someone. So a lot of times when we think about intimidation, we're just thinking about like, oh, people are jealous, or you're jealous of somebody else's success. But did you know intimidation is much more than just being jealous? It's really a form of adult bullying, because what you're saying is that I'm so dissatisfied with myself, I want to make you feel bad about yourself. And so, what that comes from, what intimidation really, really comes from, it really stems from a place of insecurity. It stems from a place of insecurity because, hold on, guys, let me do something real quick. Uh, let's see. Oh, there it is. Okay, let me turn this down. All right, I got you. All right, so it stems from a place of insecurity. Behind every good man, there's a good woman. One, don't give up on black men. Keith, we hear you. We won't. We promise. His way or God's way. That's right, Vanessa. Totally agree with you on that. Totally agree. Vanessa said thickums. So, listen, guys. So a lot of times intimidation, it stems from a place of insecurity. Let's look at what insecurity is. Insecurity means to be uncertain or to have anxiety about yourself. So a lot of time when we're thinking somebody's insecurity is about us, let's realize one person's insecurity is about them. And this is where we have to be careful when it comes to dating and wanting to make sure we're finding someone who is suitable for us, whatever level we're on. You may not be to the level that you're saying, well, I feel like I've made it. I feel like I'm successful now. Where Twin is, like she said, Twin made like $1.7 million in her first year of business. And now just a few years late into it, Twin is worth, her net worth is $8 million now. And so she's gonna come back tomorrow because she was getting on the plane. They told she had to get off the phone. But we're gonna do a special edition tomorrow where everything is clear. Everybody will be able to hear us tomorrow. We're gonna come on tomorrow, do a special edition so we can really hear her, because I want her to really get into some of her stories that she don't mind sharing with you guys. about her dating horrors and woes. Okay, so a lot of times when you start talking about insecurity, it's really about a lack of confidence in that other person. It's the state of being open to danger or threat. It's the lack of protection. It's to be unstable or shaky. It's to doubt yourself and your abilities. It's not believing you're capable of something. So sometimes when you're insecure about something, it really has nothing to do with the other person. Your insecurities really are about you. And it's when you're starting to feel anxious or fearful about yourself or something in your life. And this is what we have to start doing. Listen to this part, guys. It can cause you to do stupid things and hold you back in life. Being insecure is really unattractive. You know, it's one thing when you are um to be in such a way to where, you know, I don't even want to use the word jealous, because sometimes jealousy in a relationship can hold a negative connotation, but just a little bit of jealousy is healthy. But when you get into that insecurity and all of that, and you just start acting crazy, and this is actually a definition that said you start doing stupid things and hold yourself back in life. Then the part of the definition actually said being insecure is unattractive. I don't know anything, whether you're a man or a woman, I don't know anything that's attractive about somebody who is always feeling like um somebody's doing something to them, or somebody's trying to do something to them, or they always got to make you feel like you're less than them, because they feel like they're actually less than everybody else. And it's something within. And I want you guys to listen to this. And you guys know, um as a psychology major, I bring you a lot of different information, but I want you to hear this about insecurity. I want to share something. Some of you may know and some of you may not know this, but I want you to hear this about insecurity. Listen to this. According to Good Therapy says, here's what causes insecurity. There is no one cause of insecurity. There are many factors that can lead to the condition. So now we go from insecurity not just being a thing, now we see, according to Good Therapy, we're seeing insecurity now labeled as a condition. We're going to see what kind of condition it is as we read on. It says this condition may stem from a traumatic event, a crisis such as a divorce, bankruptcy, or a loss. Twin was saying a lot of times, when men are insecure that way, it's mainly because they were done wrong by a previous relationship or a previous woman in a relationship. And so then when they do meet a good woman, they don't know how to treat her because they're so broken from past relationships. So it says it can also result from one's environment, as unpredictability or upset in a daily life can cause anxiety and insecurity about ordinary routine events. So just ordinary stuff like getting to know somebody, having a nice time on a date, that can turn into a major event from someone that has insecurities, because you know it, it gets crazy. I shared with you guys one time before, and I don't mind sharing it again, how insecure people, they'll shut a whole situation down and lose out on something that might have been good for them. But what'll happen is, I shared with you guys how um, someone had ended a date with me because they said another other man was looking at me. So, and I said, well, how is that my fault? Why would you want to end the date? So his explanation was, well, I couldn't handle that. That would make me angry, and I would wind up taking it out on you. That if we're out and other men are always looking at you, and I'm just thinking that has nothing to do with me. But thank God, things went the way they were, because that could have been a situation I could have been trapped up in. Thank God we dodged that one. And so you could take a normal, ordinary routine event, and if you're an insecure person, you will turn that into a major 4th of July kind of explosive event, because your own insecurities are just eating away at you. So listen to this. Listen to what Mental Health America says about insecurity and people who are insecure to such a degree that they cause havoc in other people's life. Listen to this. Insecurity is a borderline personality disorder. Did y'all know that? Insecurity is a borderline personality disorder. All right. So the type of personality disorder it's categorized in a cluster B. You have A, B, C. You have cluster um, categories like that. But um, um, insecurity is included in cluster B category, which is traumatic, emotional, or erratic behavior. And again, most people that are intimidated, they have that dramatic, emotional, erratic behavior. And a lot of times they can't even explain to you, well, why did you just say that to me? What made you say that? You can be, for instance, if you're dating somebody and they have insecurity issues, you can be doing something totally good by them or totally good with them, and they'll find something negative about it, and then they'll make it seem like, it's something else you should be doing to make them feel better about themselves. And so the Mental Health America said this: insecurity can be a disorder. The narcissistic personality is oversensitive to failure and often complains of multiple somatic symptoms, which is pain and fatigue, that causes major emotional distress, and it causes them problems with functioning. So these are people that everything could be going well, and they'll just end a situation because of something in their mind, like something in them. They have erratic behavior, like, and then you be like, well, what happened? Oh, nothing. I just, they can never explain to you what's going on with them. They can never explain to you like what's really happening. You see what I'm saying? So they have these moments where they just, it's just they can't explain what's going on. So what happens is they have problems functioning. They're prone to extreme mood swings, between self-admiration and insecurity. So in one moment they'll be telling you, oh, I've done this, I've been here, I've done that, I've been with this person, I've been with that kind of person. So now they're in self-admiration, but then over here they'll start, saying little stuff that, oh, I guess you just got it all together. You be like, where's this coming from? What are you talking about? It's like they'll start picking and bullying at you, trying to make you feel as if you're doing something wrong or unjust to them, or if this is the way you're making them feel. So then they have something to say when people say, well, what happened to you and such and such? Oh, she was too much, or she was extra, or she always trying to make me feel like I wasn't on her level. No, that's not true. What's happening is you have a condition called insecurity. All right. So how do we help people? This is what they also say about those people with insecurity. These people tend to exploit interpersonal relationships. So a lot of times they'll only get into a relationship to see what they can get out of it. They're not really trying to make this thing work for a long term. They're in it to see what they can get out of it. And here is the recommendation for people with insecurity. Y'all ready for this? Psychotherapy. So it says psychotherapy is recommended because it helps the insecure person to see how his or her behavior affects other people. And a lot of times when people are insecure, they don't see how their behavior affects other people. And then when you bring it to their attention, oh, I was just kidding. Oh, you take things too seriously. It's one thing for you to say, if somebody step on your toe one time and they say, excuse me, okay, you can excuse that. But if they keep stepping on your toe and then want to keep saying, oh, that was an accident, after a while, you're going to start feeling like, wait a minute, this the same toe that you keep stepping on. I haven't, this. So it's not really an accident. That's their way of letting you know really, pardon me, how they think about you. And more so how they feel about themselves. And so sometimes when you start thinking about people and their insecurities, it'll come out. It'll come out in the way that they try to hold conversations with you. But what they'll do is they'll make it seem like it's something wrong with you. And so what it does, it takes the focus off of their insecurities. And so they'll say, they'll just say stuff off the top of their head that absolutely makes no sense whatsoever. And so what winds up happening is, oh, I got some good questions for you. So what winds up happening is they start portraying their insecurities off on you. And then if you're not careful with an insecure person, let me tell you something. If you're not careful when dealing with an insecure person, they'll have you sitting thinking, well, maybe I should have, and maybe I should have, and maybe I might have, and maybe I should have tried a little harder. When in fact, you have done nothing wrong. It's just that when people are insecure, it's hard for them to see themselves. Remember now, Good Therapy and the Mental Health America, they have qualified insecurity as a personality disorder. And, you can't really get around certain things when it comes to certain people. And when it comes to dating, let me share this with you guys. When it comes to dating and you feel like you have reached a certain amount of success, I always use myself so that I don't run into any liability or anything like that. I always use myself. So I remember, and I share a story about, how I wrote 4 books and published 4 books during the time I was recuperating from my first brain surgery. And to me, that's a major accomplishment to put out 4 books at the end of in the last quarter of 1 year. Each month I put out a different book. And so that meant at the last quarter of the year, you have September, October, November, December. And I put out a book each month. I put out a book each month. So let me show you what I did. So in September, we put out this book. This was my first book I put out. I put this book out in September. All right. Last quarter of the year. I want you to see something. Follow me on this. Last quarter of the year, we had September, October, November, December. Put this book out. All right. That's September. October, I put this book out. All right. I'm recuperating now. This is during the time I was recuperating from brain surgery. All right. Because I've shared with you guys that I am a brain tumor patient, and a brain tumor survivor. I make no qualms about that, So that was October. November, we put out this book. I wrote this book, put this book out in November. Same year now, same year. And then in December, I released this book. So that's 4 books in 4 months, 1 year, while I'm recuperating from brain surgery. So someone says, this is someone I was interested in. Well, I thought I was. Oh, I didn't get one of your little books. What? You didn't get one of my little books. So to me, I want to ask that individual, well, how many books you put out? How many books you wrote? How many books you got published? But for some reason, I can't do people the way they do me. It's just something, it doesn't even have anything to do with me being Christian. None of that. It's just that, I just don't go down that road. I'm not insecure, so I don't have no reason to dig at you with whatever level of success that you have achieved or trying to achieve. So he would say stuff like, oh, I didn't get one of your little books. Okay, well, go to Amazon.com and order some of my books. Don't do that. So we always lose Instagram. Then I have to go and get them back. I'm gonna figure all this out one day, and we're gonna be able to keep Instagram on. Okay. So, but in the meantime, so he would always say just little smart stuff like that. And I would be like, what's your deal? You've never really said, hey, congratulations. I'm proud of you. I see the work you're doing. None of that. Always something kind of flip it, always something kind of negative, and so after a while I just was like, you know what, that's just not something I want to entertain, going forward. And I think what happens is sometimes when people see whatever level of success you're at, they'll let not only jealousy come in, but it's their own insecurities, because sometimes people will be upset with you that they didn't do the work. And how do you achieve any level of success? You got to do your work. And it doesn't matter, everybody's not going to make $1.7 million in a year. Make what you make and be satisfied, be happy, be your own best cheerleader. You know what I'm saying? And so when you find somebody and you guys decide, okay, let's try to date or whatever, and they're not supportive of you, that's going to really kind of make if you keep trying to go forward with that relationship and that particular person, that's going to make it hard for you guys. So, again, not just saying equally yoked, it has so much more. Do we have the same goals in mind? Are we on the same path in life? Because some people are such that, I was talking to someone and they were saying that had they known earlier to have a different kind of conversation with a person, then they would have had a different outcome in their marriage. Um, are you with somebody that even knows how to be sociable? You know what I'm saying? You get with somebody who's never been anywhere, never done anything. It's a lot that goes into being equal with somebody that, to me, it stretches far beyond both of us just being Christian or in church or what have you. I was talking to a friend of mine and I said, "Oh, can I share that story on my show?" He was like, "Yeah, go ahead and share it." So here's what happened. A friend of his was talking to him about um, his girlfriend or his wife or whatever. She was saying that she wasn't, you know, satisfied with the way the relationship was going. So he was like, "Well, do you take her out? This, that, or third." He was like, "No, we don't do all that. To me, you know, uh, she should be happy when we just chilling, throw something on the grill and clean pool and stuff like that." He was like, "Man, that's something you do with your boys when you chilling with your boys." So he told him, he said, "But when it comes to your woman, you have to wine and dine her." So he has a motto that wine and dine, everything gonna be fine. That's his motto. He old school head. So, so he said he was telling his friend, he says, "Well, have you ever asked her, hey, would you like to go for a porterhouse?" Yeah. The friend said, "Oh no, man, she don't eat no pork." So he said, "What?" He said, "Man, I'm asking you, have you ever asked a woman, do she want to go out for a porterhouse?" He said, "No, man, she don't eat no pork. No, she don't eat no pork." So he said, "Well, you don't know what a porterhouse is?" He said, well, good thing I didn't ask you if you ever taken her to get a filet mignon. He said, "Oh yeah, now she like fish. Oh yeah, she like fish." So the man thought that his friend, when he told his friend, take the girl out sometime. Women like to go out sometime, take her out, show her off. So when he suggested to his friend that he take the woman out for a porterhouse, the friend replied, "Oh no, she don't like pork." He thought a porterhouse was pork. And so when he said to him, "Well, what about a filet mignon?" He said, "Oh yeah, man, she like fish. She love fish. Oh yeah, she love fish." So I was like, so how did somebody, so you have to be careful. And I think this all goes back to having communication. You got to at least sit down and be able to talk to somebody. Y'all got to at least be on the same page. If you trying to date somebody, hook up with somebody, or what have you, and you considering them for a long term, and you say, "Well, honey, you want to go get a porterhouse?" And he think you talking about pork. Or you mentioned filet mignon and he think you talking about fish. Y'all need to sit down and have a conversation to see if y'all gonna be compatible, to go further than maybe the first few days. And I think that's what's happening. I think this is just what I think. I think that a lot of times we are getting so because the pickings are getting super, super slim. The pickings are just getting super slim. And what's happening? Oh, there we go. Took me a little bit longer to get Instagram back this time. Okay, but I figured it out. So sorry, Instagram, y'all come on back in. Um, so what's happening is I think because the pickings are getting super slim because um I want to be careful about what I say because I don't want to put anybody out in a bad light. However, we are seeing so much going on in church. I almost want to tell y'all, but then I don't know how y'all gonna swallow this one. I almost want to say to women, you know, you have to even be careful with trying to meet men in church these days. You know, you gotta be careful about that. You know, you look amazing. Thank you, Dexter. You have to be careful about where you meet people. And I know you're saying, well, I thought you was a pastor and this. I am, but honey, child, listen, the stuff we're seeing these days, if you're trying to get into a relationship and you have already obtained certain things, and if you don't want somebody to come into your life and just wreck your life, you got to be careful, even in church, even meeting people in church. Ladies, be careful, even meeting these men in church, because the stuff we are seeing, honey, it's it's just not safe. Even in church, it's not safe. Men, be careful. You know, I've seen women um, in church that was saying, "Oh, I want a husband," and then you get into dating a man, but you know, uh, you like women too, but you don't tell the man, and so you put him in a position to where it's going to make him feel a certain way when he finds that out about you. So instead of us being honest about stuff, and I've seen men are getting married at a different rate than women are getting married. Men, to me, this just to me, y'all can say what you want to say, but men in church are getting married faster so they can cover up the fact that they like being with other men. I think that's why we're seeing men getting married at a quicker rate than we can find good women that are looking, or not so much looking, because I know y'all will jump all over that women ain't supposed to be looking, but that's not what I mean. I think men are getting married at proportionally higher rates and quicker. You know, a man will find just anybody and marry her that will be willing and sometimes unsuspecting that he has another lifestyle that he enjoys. And so a man will marry a woman quicker just for the sake of him having that woman, that wife to hide behind. But in reality, he knows full well that he enjoys being with a man. And the unfortunate thing about that is women go into those kind of situations totally unsuspecting. And this is my thing. Go to the other page, Sandy. I don't know why that's showing up like that on that line. Switch over to one of the other pages, and because I think it's clearer on the other page. Yeah, I can see that it's a little dark. And probably, oh, you say it's not centered. Come over to one of the other pages, and I think you'll get a better look. All right. Or if you're on Instagram, come over and follow me on Instagram at Benita Bradley 50, Benita Bradley 50 on Instagram. It's a better picture over there. Okay. And I think it's because we might be getting a little bit of a storm. So some of my devices are blinking in and out because the weather is kind of different here. All right. Thanks, love. Come on over. So, but yeah, so men are getting married at a proportionally higher rate, because they'll meet somebody, um, and they'll get married just for the sake of having that facade or that image of, well, I have a wife, but secretly you have another lifestyle. Women, and I would imagine there are women that's getting married to men to cover up their lifestyle. But so if this is true, then what happens to the the men that are actually looking for a woman to marry because he wants to be with a woman, or what happens when a woman actually wants to be with a man, but everybody that's cloaking and hiding behind, you know, the institution of marriage, all y'all done partnered up. So in reality, it is fair when you hear there may not be any good men or there may not be any good women left, so that could be good evening, Mr. Brown. So that could be a fair assessment depending on who's doing the assessing and from what angle they're looking, because when you look at it in hindsight, listen, if a man is pursuing a woman to marry her, but he also knows he enjoys being with men, then yeah, he's gonna move faster. He's gonna be like with y'all gonna probably get married, meet today, y'all probably be married by the end of the year. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. When you see these quick marriages, to me, um, you have to be careful with these almost overnight marriages, you know. Because to me, it's just something, we don't even know each other. You don't even know what my favorite food is. You don't know what my favorite color is. You don't know what I like. You don't know what I don't like. I don't know anything about you. I remember a situation where there was a couple who got married. They dated for a few weeks or whatever, and they got married. And this was a story someone told me. So, and they said, so the next day when they got up, um, I guess they were supposed to be on a honeymoon or whatever. But when they got up the next morning, the husband was like, "You fixing breakfast?" Her response was, "Oh, I don't even know what you like to eat." How you marry a man and you don't even know what he like to eat? You don't even know what to cook for him? Like, that means y'all moved too fast. Something, y'all was in too much of a hurry. And to me, that's just a means right there. Tell you y'all was just into it just to get you some. It's probably been a while for you. I'm sure it ain't been a while for him, because men don't normally go that long without sex like women do. But anyhow, you know, this woman, excuse me, this woman didn't even know what the man liked to eat. So when he asked her, "Are you going to fix breakfast?" She was like, "Yeah, I'll fix your breakfast." Like, "Oh, but I don't know what you like to eat. What do you like to eat?" And I'm thinking, well, they just got through with a booty call, or was this actually after they was married? No, this was after they got married. After they got married, the next morning, he was asking for breakfast. Her statement was, "Oh, yeah, I'll cook you breakfast, but I don't know what you want to eat. I don't know what you like. I never did ask you what you like to eat." And so in my mind, I'm just like, that's a clear indication that somebody just got hot in the behind and wanted to make a rush, a mad dash to the altar, if you will. You know, because one of the things this is just me, this is just me. If you're thinking about dating somebody to the point where you want to court and then get married, remember we talked about the steps last week. We talked about dating, which leads to courting, and courting to the engagement to the marriage. We talked about the steps last week. But sometimes what I'm seeing now is people totally skipping steps and going from dating straight to marriage. And that interim time of courting and the engagement time, I'm seeing a lot of people skipping that time, just so, particularly in the church, just so we can go ahead and get to the bedroom part. Because like I said, a lot of times you have women that have been waiting and living celibate lives or abstinent lives or what have you. And so they're ready to have sex, period, point blank. They just want to have sex, but they want to have it in such a way that they don't feel bad about it. So to them, okay, to marry, it's better to marry and burn means, well, so I don't have to be, feeling bad. Let's just go ahead and get married. Let me just put this out there. I think personally, to get married just for the purpose of having legal sex with somebody, horrible idea. Horrible, horrible idea. That's just me. That's just me. I think it's a horrible idea to put yourself in a situation to say, I love you, you love me, let's get married. No, that's not what that's about. What you guys should be saying, I want to have sex with you, you want to have sex with me, but we ain't got to get married. That's the problem we're running into. So now what happened? You got people getting married for the sake of having sex. Once they have sex, they don't have nothing else in common outside the bedroom. Why? Because y'all haven't taken time to get to know each other. You don't know what he likes. He don't know what you like. You don't know his favorite color. You don't know anything about her. You don't know if she likes flowers. You don't know if she likes silk flowers or real flowers. You don't know if she have any allergies. We don't know anything about anybody. We just jumping into marriage so we can have what I like to call legal sex, with sex without the guilt, sex without the explanation, But what's happening is this. So a lot of times you say, okay, well, I've achieved this, but I just need that. I'm missing that one person. I've had successful men tell me, I've got this, I've got that. I'm just looking for a wife. Okay, what is it about a wife that you're looking for? And I think we're afraid, to ask those kind of questions. Hold on, guys. I think I need to plug something else up. We're afraid to ask those questions because we may not want to know the answer. Hold on one second. Hold on. This is what happened when you're live. Hold on. And I'm back. All right. So let's see if I did that right. I hope I got that plugged up right. But I think we're gonna pick this up tomorrow because I think the storm is messing up my what do you call it? My signals a little bit because one of you guys are all way dark over here, but everybody else is clear. But anyhow, so what happens is he was telling me that he's successful, he has all of this and that, and that, but he's just looking for someone that he needs a wife, basically, is what he was saying. So my question is, do you need a wife or do you want a wife? Because there's a difference between somebody wanting you and somebody needing you. And if you just want somebody, it's a possibility. That's a feeling that'll pass. Like I want shoes all the time. And, I want to order shoes all the time, Um, but I don't necessarily need to order shoes all the time. A need is something that becomes a necessity to you. Like that's something you got to have, So I would rather someone be able to explain to me what area do you think I'm going to add to you? You know what I'm saying? I don't want you to just want me because you think I'm going to look good with you or you're going to look good with me or what have you. I want you to be able to tell me, like, what value do you foresee that I could bring to you so that I'll know and I'll be able to see that you know my value. And I think that's what's happening with a lot of us. We're not waiting to be with someone that can see our value, even when we say, okay, I've reached a certain level of success or I've attained a certain level of this or that, because success can be whatever you measure it by. You can never listen. Don't ever measure your success by somebody else's success, because your success could be, you've kept a job for a year. Your success could be, you finished a project. Your success could be anything different than what somebody else's success looks like. So you can never measure yourself by someone else. Okay, never do that, because the Bible said that's just not wise for a man to measure himself by another. And when we know that, when we read scripture, when it says man, that's it's non-gender, means male and female in most cases when you're reading scripture. Okay, so it's just not wise for you to measure your success by what somebody else have or don't have. Okay, I just wanted to put that out there. So a lot of times when you're saying, well, I've made it to a certain point, or I'm at a certain age, now I want to find someone I can settle down with. I want to find someone that I can build the rest of my life with. And you guys saw my twin was on earlier, and she was saying, at this point, her husband died when her boys were teenagers. She raised those boys by herself, and she was saying at this point, she just turned 50. At this point in her life, if the Lord see fit to let her marry again, that would be great. But if not, she's not gonna cry over it. You know what I'm saying? Because, and it's not just because I know her personally, and it's not because she's gone from making $1.7 million in a year to now her net worth is $8 million. That has nothing to do with it. You have to know her heart, and she has, like I said earlier, she has such a heart of gold and such a heart for people, to see people win and to see people do well. She is one of the few millionaires that I do know personally that have reached back and grabbed other people and say, hey, come on, let me show you how I made it. Hey, you can make it too. So I mean, this is a person, she has an incredible story. So your success could be different from another person's success, but how you define it and what you do with it, that's what's going to make you either attractive or unattractive. Because sometimes, it can be really difficult. It can be difficult to say you're a successful person and then finding that right person that can come alongside you and add to you. And then that person might say, well, if a person has all that, well, they don't need me for anything. That's not true. That's not true. If in fact God made a woman for the sake of uh, dealing with the man's loneliness and dealing with the man not having a suitable mate there, and if in fact that was the plan of God, then there is no way on this earth a woman can say, well, I don't need a man, and mean it to that degree. Or a man can say, I don't need a woman, because we need one another, for something, if not for anything else but to procreate. We still need each other. And so I think what has to happen when you start talking about, well, I'm successful, but it's hard for me to find somebody, um, you have to start saying, okay, so then what kind of person am I looking for? What kind of person will be valuable to, or bring value to my life? Not where I've been. And sometimes people that know where you've been, they'll try to hold you there, and they'll come into your life like, well, I remember when you, well, I'm glad you remember, because I remember too, but I'm not there anymore. I need someone that's suitable for me where I am now and suitable for my future plans, for where I see myself going. And it's okay if you have standards. Don't let people tell you, oh, your standards too high, or your morals are too high, or that's why you still by yourself. And those are kind of people you want to leave the heck alone. Just let me tell you, you want to leave them the heck alone, because those are the kind of people that will never understand you, that will never probably be able to be equal to you. So here are some questions I want you guys to think about, and we're going to come back tomorrow. Like I said, she was getting on the plane, and then they told her she had to get off the phone, so we really couldn't hear her that well. She was already at the airport when she first called in, so we really couldn't hear her that well. But I want her to she's going to come back tomorrow. We're going to do a special show during the daytime tomorrow, because, and then now my signals are going in and out, because I think we're going to get another storm. We got some storm weather yesterday, and so sometimes that'll mess with my signal. And by me having so many streaming devices going at one time, one of you guys got knocked out. I'm on, but you guys are saying my background is dark and the picture is not center. But I'm looking at the monitor, and you guys, I can see it is dark on your page, so I get it. And I apologize for that. And then up here, you guys keep going in and out, trying to say it's due to a poor connection, but it's not really a poor connection. It's the storm getting ready to hit. So listen, here's some questions I want you guys to think about for tomorrow. Is it difficult to find a mate that's not intimidated by your success or your position in life? Can men truly love a woman who's more successful than them without showing signs of intimidation or resentment? Sometimes, a man he'll resent you, and it's unfortunate that instead of celebrating and saying, if we do get together, everything goes in one pot. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know, but listen to this. Why do men feel as if a woman who has achieved certain things no longer need or want a man, or that all they strongly believe that all they, meaning men, can offer a successful woman is sex. A successful woman, or a woman who has achieved certain things, I've heard people say, oh, women like that, all they want is somebody just come, bang, bang, bang them every now and then, and they good. That's not necessarily true. Women who are of a certain age and have attained certain things and have achieved certain goals in life, we want more than just a bang, bang, bang. You know what I'm saying? We want a relationship. We want marriage. We want joy. We want everything that a relationship encompasses. And I just think it's just so it's just ludicrous for somebody to think that's all. Now, granted, there may be some women out there like that, just like it's some men out there like that. They don't really want a wife. I've heard a successful man say, I got everything in life I need. All I want is company every now and then. Well, honey, company you shall have, but it won't be me, because I can't be your flavor of the month. You know, um, that's not what I do. And so, then you have to realize, well, how do you define success, or how do you define being equal? What do successful women want in a relationship? What do successful men want in a relationship? You have to think about all of these things. Listen to this. Can success on a woman be a deterrent for some men? If so, then why is that when that same success on a man would be what's attractive to most women? I want y'all to think about that. Can success on a woman be a deterrent for some men? If so, then why, when it is that same level of success on a man, that would be what's most attractive to a woman? So if a man is successful, it's okay. He's supposed to have women attracted to him. But if a woman is successful, then it is said or thought, well, she don't need no man. She got everything she needs. Then how come it is then, if a man is successful, why don't you hear, well, he don't need no woman. He got everything he need. Why don't you hear that the same way you hear, if a woman is successful, well, she got everything she needs. She don't need nobody. She don't need no man. And that's not true. And you heard my twin say it tonight. That's so far from the truth. Our mind don't listen. People, that's not how mature women mind work. It does suggest that if we are blessed enough to have that love and that companionship and that partnership with somebody, then good. But if not, then we still have to go on. The last question I want you to think about: does insecurity make relationship building difficult? And if so, how do we get uh, men and women on the same level when it comes to dating a successful person? Why is it okay for a successful man to find love and then everybody applauds him, but when a successful woman say she's ready to settle down, the first thing that comes to a man's mind is, oh, you probably don't really need a man? You know what I'm saying? I just think that's unfair. It's an unfair assumption. And I think it, again, remember we talked about, are there different standards, or are there double standards? I think we can kind of apply that to this particular discussion as well, because a lot of times when a woman has achieved certain things, when you do stop and you just look around and you be like, okay, I got all this stuff, and I'm paid off all this stuff, I don't owe a whole lot of people, this, that, and the third. Now, I can kind of free some of my time up. I work hard, but, I don't have to work as hard. You know what I'm saying? I do have a little leisure time here and there. I can entertain somebody now. But then you look around, and a lot of times there are no suitable males around, because a lot of times, you know, um, that either men are trying to get themselves together, or they're trying to find a woman that's already got herself together, or they're just interested in sex, or they're not sure what they want, or some of them, they trying to get with a woman to take the attention off the fact that they actually like being with men. It's just so much going on now too. It's scary out there. Remember the first thing we start talking about, how scary it is dating these days. That's one of the first things we start talking about. So now we worked our way up to part 5 tonight, when we're actually talking about how difficult it is for a successful woman to find a suitable mate. And I get it. When I say find, I don't mean that the woman is out there looking, so we're not going to have a play on words with that. So when a woman is ready to find love, or to find that suitable mate, it's difficult, because again, the pickings now are almost slim to none, because, you know, especially if you're trying to find a guy in church. And I'm sorry to be able to say this, you almost would come out better meeting somebody that ain't got nothing to do with the church. They love God, but they're not necessarily, you know, in your church per se. Because if you date somebody in your church and then that don't work out, and then you start dating somebody else, y'all still go to the same church. If you don't leave and he don't leave, but it don't work out, now you got to sit there and watch him come to church with somebody else. He got to sit there and watch you come to church with somebody else, and that's a hot mess. And then your pastor married, then you got to watch your pastor marry to somebody that you was in love with off to somebody else, and then everybody just stay at the same church. That's ridiculous to me, but that's what's going on. And so I almost, find it, um, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have all the answers just yet. That's why I'm doing this particular series on dating, on being single, saved and satisfied, or are we just single? That's why I'm doing this particular series, because I too am looking for answers. I don't have all the answers. I don't pretend like I have all the answers. I don't pretend to be an expert. But what I will do research and bring you good information and reliable sources. And hopefully we can figure this thing out together. My prayer is that, I say something and I bring you information that will help you make some decisions, and hopefully you make better decisions because of the information I bring to you. And a lot of times, like I said before, the reason why it's hard to find suitable mates is because a lot of times, you know, people are rushing so much to get married these days, but they're not getting married for love. They're getting married for covers, you know, and I don't want us as a people, to keep just running to the altar to marry people that we don't necessarily love. Or you can love a person, but you got to make sure, just take your time and stop. And I think so many times we just ignore the red flags. We ignore the warning signs that are actually there, you know, uh, you know, and we just go ahead and move forward because we get tired of being alone. Or you've been alone so long, you're tired of being by yourself, you're tired of carrying the load by yourself. You have to look back over your life and you have to say, okay, if I made it this far being a single woman, if I made it this far being a single parent, surely the Lord has not brought me this far to leave me. If you are a single father, there's some single fathers out there. Hats off to you, single fathers. If you've been carrying the load this long, you've been raising your children, your child by yourself, you have to look back and say, Lord, I know you didn't bring me this far to leave me. And I know the load on both ends gets heavy, it gets tiresome, but at the same time, we're gonna have to stop, and say, is this person a suitable mate for me? Is this person my equal? Do we have the same goals in mind? Um, it's like a person who's a real go-getter marrying somebody who don't like to work. Baby, I watched somebody go through that, and I'm telling you, it was the most devastating thing I had ever had to watch. And if it was in my power, but it wasn't, if it was in my power, I personally would have put a stop to it. But again, it was not in my power. These were adults. It was their decision to make. But I watched this person cry, go through depression behind all of this, and just like, because again, it goes back to being equally yoked. And it's not just about spiritual all the time. You got to make sure y'all want the same things. You can't say, I have a plan for success, and this person don't have a plan for tomorrow. What's your plan? How are we going to live day by day? Are we going to be able to take vacations? Can we go out to eat? Can we splurge a little over here? How much do we allow for savings? How much do we put away for this? If we fall behind on something, how do we catch this up? If in fact something happens and our credit get a little flighty, how do we fix it? How do we go about mending whatever area needs to be mended? Those are things you guys have to sit down and talk about. But what's happening is, because everybody's getting so tired of waiting, either to have sex or tired of waiting, to try to cover up stuff. You got, and I said again, and I will not back down from what I'm saying, because I honestly believe that it's the truth. Unless somebody can show me scientific research that what I'm saying is not true, then I'm going to stand by what I said. I honestly believe the reason why men are getting married at a higher rate than women are, even though they're marrying women, a man, he'll grab a woman and marry her almost overnight to cover up the fact that he likes being with men. Women, on the other hand, even if that is their particular lifestyle, they're not so quick to jump into a marriage. And so that's why you have so many single women versus how many single men it is, because either men don't want to get married at all because they enjoy same-sex relationships, or they're getting married to women to cover up the fact that they enjoy being with men. And either way, listen, that's your thing. That's what you do. That's what you do. What I'm saying is this: when you come to the table, everybody should be honest about what they like, what they want, how far you intend to go with this thing. But at best, I don't believe, if you like being with same sex, I don't think you should bring other people into that, and say, well, let's get married, when that's not what you really want. And then you guys start having children together and all this. It's just a bowl of calamity waiting to happen, versus someone who's actually honest and living in their truth. I can respect you more if you are living in your truth. And I know some of y'all gonna probably try to y'all gonna have a fit when I say this, but I would prefer somebody, if you like being with same sex, then follow after that pattern, versus getting involved with somebody of the opposite sex when that's not what you really like. Whatever your truth is, live in that truth, be in that truth, maintain that truth, but stop crossing wires and getting people involved with stuff that you have no intention of being committed to. And I think a lot of times that's why it's hard to trust people, because you just don't know what you're getting into. You absolutely don't know what you're getting into these days. But tomorrow, we are going to do a special show tomorrow, and we're going to bring Elder Benita back. And she's going to talk to us some more where we can all hear her. I hope you guys, I know a lot of you will be at work, because I'm going to try to come on in daytime while the kids are at school. And we're going to talk about it. We'll probably come on around maybe 12 noonish. I'll probably come on around 12 noonish if you're able to tune in. We will be live on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. So you have several options that you can tune in and watch us on tomorrow. We're going to finish up this conversation about being able to find a suitable mate, once you reach a certain level of success, you know, um, and it's crazy because people treat you differently when they measure your success by what they think, and so a lot of times it is harder for a successful woman to find a suitable mate than it is for a successful man. When a man is successful, women are flocked to that. He's attractive, and the more that he has, the more attractive he becomes. He ain't even got to be good looking, you know, but if he has obtained a certain amount of success in life, then to a lot of women, he is attractive. However, that same success on a woman sometimes will serve as a deterrent or repellent to men, because now men see that particular woman as a threat. They're intimidated by that type of woman. Here's what I want to encourage men to do when you do meet a successful woman, or you meet a woman who has achieved any level that she considers a success. Have a conversation with her, because you will probably find, even though a woman is successful, even though a woman has achieved certain things in her life, it does not take away. Now, I can't speak for all women. Let me clarify that. But the ones like me and the people I know, it does not take away that nurturing nature. It does not take away the nature. Like my twin said earlier, doesn't take away the ability to know how to speak to a king in a man, or allow a man to feel like he's a king in his own home. So those are skills that women have. You got to be skilled to know how to make a man feel like once he's in your presence, he is in his absolute safe place. Those are skills, baby. And you just can't wake up one morning and say, okay, I'm wife material. No, he that findeth a wife, that means you already got to be a wife. You can't become a wife once you get married. You already have to be a wife. You got to have the characteristics of a wife. You got to have the mentality of the wife. You got to have the goal set of the wife. You got to know how to do things like a wife. And you got to have the communication set or the skill sets of a wife. You got to know that this is who you have chosen. And when you choose a man, listen, women, when you choose a man to be in your life, don't come back talking about, well, God is my head. You so out of order till it ain't funny. You know, don't be a successful woman and foolish at the same time. Don't be a successful foolish woman. And just keep saying, well, I want a husband, I want a husband, I want a husband. You gotta learn how to talk to a man. You can't talk at him. Talk to him so that you make it comfortable for him to open up and talk to you. One thing you want, I always tell women this: you can go after anything a man have, and you may or may not get it. But if you really want him to trust you, go after his heart. Learn to speak to his heart. Learn to speak to whatever is in him. If he's broken, learn how to, speak words that will mend. You don't want to come in and just keep tearing down somebody. You don't want to kick a person when they're down. You don't want to do that. Now, I'm not telling you got to play Miss Fix-It to every broken thing that come along. Let's not trip on that, because that's not what I'm saying. What I am saying, if that is your portion and that is what comes into your life, then you got to develop skill sets to know how to handle whatever comes in your life. That's what I'm saying. All right. And those are skills that you have to acquire no matter what level of success you achieve. And so tomorrow we're going to continue our talk about how to date a successful woman. You guys are got to really get to hear my twin a little bit more tomorrow. Again, you heard her say it herself. In 1 year time, she made 1.7 million. And now her current net worth is $8 million. And that is nothing to snuff your nose at. All right. And so, but, like she said, it's just really difficult dating. It's really difficult dating at that particular level because, people are easily intimidated by that. Such is life. And so tomorrow, again, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I thank you guys for always being so faithful. Thank you guys on YouTube. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Instagram, thank you. And all of you that are watching, we streaming from 5 different things. We are actually growing. We're doing some rebranding. Thank you, Terry. You know, Terry is a publicist. He worked for with people like MC Light, Queen Latifah, Sean Combs, all of those people, MGM Studios, all of those people. He is actually helping me do some rebranding and things of that nature. Shout out to Terry. Thank you so much. Excellent, excellent person. So you're going to see us grow, and you're going to see my set change a little bit here and there. And also, don't forget, I asked you guys last time for content, you know, stuff you want to see us talk about, things you've been wondering about, but you're afraid to ask. Um, Shoot me an inbox, and we'll consider talking about it on our show. All right. And also, don't forget, if you want to be a guest, you have a story to share, inbox me and we'll do an interview and get you on the show. Also, next week, we have another special guest coming up, and she has an awesome, I read just a snippet of her story when she posted it on Facebook, and I was like, oh, this is just right down our alley, what we're talking about today, during this series in the month of August. And what made me start this series on dating for the month of August, I don't know if some of you remember, I shared with you guys, I turned 52 on August the 6th. And so I said, well, you know, I'm 52 now, you know, I got a few things under my belt, this, that, and the third, you know, okay, maybe I want to start dating again. But what happened was, when I started saying that, I realized I didn't know what was out here. I didn't know, I don't know the rules anymore. I don't know what's going on in the dating scene. So I said, well, let me just do a series, and maybe, you know, we can figure this thing out together. All right. So that's why I started doing this particular series on dating for the month of August, because we just need to figure it all out. All right. All right. So don't forget, if you're looking for any of my books, you can go to Amazon.com. All of my books, I'm sorry, all of my books are on Amazon.com. This one is on your Kindle. You can download it right now. This one is on Amazon.com and Kindle also, wherever you get your electronic reading, you can download it to your Kindle. The last 2 are not on Kindle, but they are available on Amazon. All of my books are on Prime, so you can get them in 1-day shipping, free with your Prime account. Okay. If you want them autographed, you have to go to our web store at www.BenitaBradleyMinistries.org. There's a cart there. We take all major credit cards and PayPal. And if you have Cash App, you can inbox me directly and place your order like that. All right. Those books will come to you autographed. Okay. So they're a little bit more because they will come autographed, but they are available for you to get an autographed copy. When you order from Amazon, they will not be autographed. All right. I wanted to just put that out there like that. All right. So guys, until the next time, listen, I'm going to see you tomorrow. It's a special show tomorrow. I know I don't normally come on Thursdays, but our guest was in the airport, and then her plane started to board, and then she had to get off the phone. Okay. And then plus, I think I'm getting a little bit of storm, so we don't have the best connections tonight, but we made it through. All right. We made it through the best we could. So tomorrow, keep your notifications set, and we're going to come on tomorrow, and we're going to talk about this. We're going to get back into this again. All right. So until next time, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of What's on Your Mind. Don't forget, I am your host, Benita, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.